You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
What's up, Black and White Sports fans? John Matrix here, and I am back with another video. All right, guys, let's jump into this. Charles Barkley, the former all-time NBA great, gave us the whole cold-hard truth about Breonna Taylor. Really, a lot of the same things that me and Rhodes have been talking about on this channel. But you know what? Woke athletes will not say this. And they won't say it. He's actually saying what the woke athletes will not say. And he really kind of ruffled up Twitter. Some blue check marks. You know, they were kind of going after Charles Barkley. But we all know Charles Barkley. When he says his opinion, he doesn't give a damn what you think of him. So let's kind of jump in here and see what he actually had to say. And then I'll give you my thoughts on it, okay? Now, they were on Inside the NBA. You know, Ernie, Kenny, Charles, and Shaq were on there. And they were talking about the Breonna Taylor case. And this is what Charles Barkley actually said. And he dropped the truth about the Breonna Taylor case. He said, quote, "I don't think this one was like George Floyd or Ahmaud Arbery and things like that. I feel sad that this young lady lost her life. I think this one was. The no-knock warrant is something we need to get rid of across the board. But I am worried to lump all of these situations together. And I also feel bad that the young lady lost her life. But we do have to take into account that her boyfriend shot at the cops and shot a cop. So like I say, even though I'm really sorry she lost her life, I just don't think we can put this in the same situation as George Floyd or Ahmaud Arbery," close quote. Now, one thing that I think that Chuck did miss, and maybe he said it somewhere else, but yeah, they had a no-knock warrant, but they didn't use the no-knock warrant. They were knocking on the door. The neighbors had been on record confirming that the cops did knock on the door and announce who they were. But I digress. He's right about this. The main point is that her boyfriend shot at the cops first. No woke athletes are saying that whatsoever. And that's the difference. That's why the cops weren't actually prosecuted for murder. Because in order to get a murder charge, you're going to have to prove intent to murder. And that just was not the case whatsoever. But it didn't stop the blue checkmark brigade from going after Charles Barkley. This one person here, Brittany Danielle, says, "What is Charles Barkley talking about? This Breonna Taylor death isn't like Ahmaud Arbery and George Floyd." You're right. It's not, because she was at home asleep in her bed. We all know that has been debunked. That is a complete lie. Blue check marks are still out there lying about this, and it doesn't seem to stop. You know, the blue check marks are out there. They already have this preconceived notion of what they want to believe, and they still want to push out these false lies. Another person here, Adam Park Homoko, another blue check mark, says, I didn't know I could be this disgusted by Charles Barkley." So you can see all of these woke people out there on Twitter, and Twitter is a dumpster fire, okay? Twitter is a complete dumpster fire. You cannot take people on Twitter serious whatsoever. But if they're going to go after Barkley, they may also want to go after Shaq, because Shaq, he bat Charles Barkley on this. Now, we know that Shaq, actually some people may not remember, but Shaq, he is really heavily into law enforcement. And at one time, he was actually deputized in the state of Georgia. I believe also when he was in Miami or Orlando, he was also a police officer as well. And Shaq, if anybody knows about the ins and outs of being a police officer that is an athlete, it's probably going to be Shaq, because he probably does more than any other athlete when it actually comes to law enforcement. He's always been into it. He's always backed the blue. But this is what he said. Shaq said, "I have to agree with Charles. This one is sort of lumped in. You have to get a warrant signed, and some states do allow no-knock warrants. And everyone was asking for murder charges. When you talk about murder, you have to show intent. A homicide occurred, and we're sorry a homicide occurred. When you have a warrant signed by a judge, you are doing your job. and I would imagine that you would fire back. 100% spot on. Even though they're still talking about the no-knock warrant, we know that the no-knock warrant wasn't used. They did knock. What do people expect the cops to do? Her boyfriend shot a cop and hit the femoral artery, and he was bleeding out. I was actually watching Brandon Tatum live with ABL last night, and he has the footage. That blood was just gushing out of his leg. He could have died. But you know what? These woke athletes, the Blue Checkmark Brigade, they don't care about that police officer bleeding out in that situation. He was shot by her boyfriend. I still don't know how her boyfriend actually didn't get charged with attempted murder, because everybody is saying that the police announced themselves, but he just some kind of way said, I didn't hear them announce themselves. He heard the banging on the door. They banged multiple times. And he says that he didn't hear the police. I'm not buying that, but I'll move on. See, once again, I'm so glad that Charles Barkley is the voice of reason. The police have a right to protect themselves, just like you have a right to protect yourself also. The police are human beings. They have families too. They want to go to their homes and be with their families. Their families need them. These police officers are making next to no kind of money, and they're putting their lives on the line for this. That cop almost died, and he probably should have died, but the other cops around him responded quite well in helping to stop the bleeding. Watching that video, man, I highly recommend that you guys go and check out the Officer Tatum live stream that he put up last night. I don't know if he unlists his live streams or not, but man, watching that, I was like, man, that is brutal. But it's so nice to have at least one celebrity athlete out there. Well, I'm going to throw two in because I'm going to throw Shaq in there also, to give you the cold, hard truth. Now, I don't know if they talked about the other details, about her being in the drug ring or whatever, but they were backing the police. The police have a right to defend themselves. Charles and Shaq, they just debunked this whole thing that the police went there to murder Breonna Taylor. And the blue check marks, they need to stop with this lie that Breonna Taylor was in a bed asleep. That is 100% not true. They were actually in their bedroom watching TV, watching a movie, and they heard the banging at the door, the cops announcing themselves, and they didn't respond. So the cops, they had every right to knock down the door. They had the warrant, and they did. And then her boyfriend shot the police, and then the police have a right to return fire. It's unfortunate that Breonna Taylor got shot. Barkley also, by the way, before I forget, he slammed this defund the police thing. He wasn't buying this defund the police thing, okay? Barkley said that it's completely ridiculous. He said that rich neighborhoods, mainly white neighborhoods also, would not allow this. And I completely back him with this. If you defund the police, if you abolish the police, because that's the new thing now, and he actually called these people fools that were actually calling to defund or abolish the police. He was not on board with that whatsoever. I'm glad that he called these people out. These woke athletes like Colin Kaepernick are now calling for abolish the police. Charles Barkley essentially called him a fool. It doesn't make any sense, because I told you guys before, who is going to be affected by defunding or abolishing the police? It's going to be minority neighborhoods. It's going to be civil unrest in those neighborhoods. And you can just forget about, bringing in these social workers to domestic disturbance calls. That's ridiculous. Guess who actually had a domestic disturbance call and it ended badly? That would be the Jacob Blake situation. Because his ex-girlfriend called the police on him. That's a domestic disturbance call. What happened? Jacob Blake has a knife and he's trying to go and attack the police. That's why he got shot. But I'm going to leave that right there for now, folks. What do you guys think of this? Charles Barkley laying the smackdown when it comes to this whole defund the police. And essentially, too, he slammed Black Lives Matter with this, too, because Black Lives Matter is at the forefront for calling for the disbandment of the police, defunding of the police. It's ridiculous. I'm glad that he said it. Hopefully more athletes actually come out and say this also. But hats off to Charles Barkley and Shaq. I'm very, very proud of what they said on this situation. But that's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Let us know what you guys think about all this in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to Black and White Sports, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.